50s, the show really was the key event in like the social society in Clon. The show is still very important today, of course.
The agricultural show has long been the highlight of the social calendar for farming communities throughout Ireland. Over its 100 annual shows, Clonakilty Agricultural Show has thrived, and this year its history is being commemorated in a special centenary book.
Clonakilty Agricultural Society Limited. It's back in the early 90s. It was formed into a limited company, but it's trading. I suppose it's more of a community group. The annual show is the highlight of its activities each year.
The first show was in 1901. The first show that was actually in the Fairfield. The first show in the showgrounds itself was in 1906. The industrial hall was built in 1913 and opened in June 1913. There was a period between 1914 and 1924. There was actually no show. Like in 1914 was obviously the Great War, and then it just after the war it just didn't. There was no show until 1924. In 1924 there was actually a split in the show society, and there was a new show started in the Fairfield. But by 1929 the show society was reformed into one group.
Back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, like right up to when the train stopped coming to Clonakilty in 1961, the show society had a special arrangement with CIE, and you could send on your exhibits the day before or on the morning of the show. Horses, cattle were brought on the train to the showgrounds. When I was a child, when we would come into the show, all my uncles, Sam and John and Jerry Kingston, would be here with their horses. And, when we came in, all you had to do was head for the horse ring and you would find your uncles and cousins. Then we'd go down to see the cattle and you'd meet all the neighbours, and if there was any nice boy that you fancied, you were sure to see him at the show. My grandfather, Richard Kingston, back in the 20s and 30s, he had a set of horses for driving, and he apparently it was claimed he always took one of our cousins, Caroline Bowen, up on the carriage with him because she had beautiful long wavy hair, and that was what the judges looked at, and that just get him a prize. My grandfather, David White, was president of the Revive show in 1925. He was president until 1928. And then in 1957, my father, Michael White, became president, and he served 16 years as president. And then in 2011, I became the lady president for a term of 3 years, which was a huge honour.
This year is the 100th show, but I suppose it has been building to this year after year, and it's an acknowledgement of the commitment of the people involved to keep it going year after year to reach this stage. And I suppose this year we're trying to, I suppose there's three sides. We want to look back and acknowledge the past. I suppose we want to live in the present, display what is here in the present. And also for the young people out there, it's think about the future. Maybe the young people are the future, so it's an opportunity for them to get involved. To commemorate or to acknowledge the 100th year, we are in the process of putting a book on the 100th shows together. That's kindly, Sam Kingston's kindly coordinating that. The book itself, at the moment we're just going back over old paper cuttings, history, photographs. We're meeting with as many members as we can to gather stories. We normally have just a one-day event, but to acknowledge the members that are no longer with us, we are going to have a remembrance ceremony on Friday the 5th of June. That's the Friday night before the show. On the Saturday night, because it's Saturday night the 6th of June, I suppose we're going back in time. Traditionally, quite a lot of people used to come to the show via the train that used to come into Clonakilty. We will go to where the old train station was, and we'll have a little parade from there down into the town, just to involve the town and the community. We'll have a little gathering in the square, and a few formalities there, which will officially open the Hunter Show this year. And then the following day, then it will be all systems go. We're in here from about 6:30 on show morning, opening the gates. From 7 to 8 o'clock, the exhibitors start coming. The stands start coming. We could have 7,000 people or so between exhibitors and people coming to see the show here with us on a Sunday. For a rural West Cork community, that's a substantial attraction and a substantial number of people coming through the gates.